Alright guys, I apologize if the quality of this video is a little poor. I'm doing this in the hotel room. But I've been working with these Panduit TX6 mod plugs, and when I first saw them I was like, man, why isn't RJ45 5 pieces? And what am I supposed to do with this thing? And the manual was quite awful and actually a little bit misleading. And every video I could find on the internet was either not in English or extremely poor quality, or both. So let's see if we can get this figured out and see if I can help you guys do these a little bit quicker and more effectively. There is supposed to be a clacker tool to do these with. I never received one with them, and it doesn't seem entirely necessary anyway. So first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to take the stress relief, slide it on. When I was first doing this, I was connecting the stress relief to this piece, which was actually kind of working against me. So I'm going to slide them on independently. This piece sits pretty firmly on the cable sheathing, so you can just kind of set it there. So now we're going to go ahead and strip back our cable. You might want to do a little bit more than you normally would for RJ45 with this, because there's a lot of steps. So go ahead, you want to break apart all 4 of your pairs nice and evenly. You're going to want to get rid of your rip cord. Just clip that piece off like that. And you're going to want to cut your cross member. Unlike a lot of connectors, you don't want to pull this piece out so that it'll retract back in. You just want to cut it pretty much flush with where the cables come out at. So here we are. Now, of course, you're going to want to undo your pairs, whatever your preferred method may be. So let's go here. I prefer to use a cable sheath to untwist them. It may not necessarily be the fastest way, but it tends to protect your fingers when you're doing hundreds of terminals at a time. And green. All right, and this isn't necessarily the best way to straighten your pairs out, but it works pretty good, and I have never had any issues doing this in the past. And all my cable has to be tested. So if you want to go rage about this in the comments, have at it. Don't care. All right. So there we go. 4 nicely straightened pairs. All right. First, now that this is all prepped, we're going to be working with this piece. This is the piece that confused me the most when I was looking at this. So if you see on one side, I apologize for the focus here, there's a bit of a V groove on one side. Your green pair is always going to go in the V groove. On the other side, it's just a straight groove. So the straight groove is always going to take the blue pair. And the way that this works means that once you understand the technique properly, it makes it almost impossible to get your wire map wrong. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to press this green pair down into the V groove. Ooh. As you can see, these guys can be a little finicky, especially when you're got a camera in your way. So work the green pair around that V groove. Then you're going to want to bring your brown pair in. You're going to want to do the brown white on the inside and the solid brown on the outside. Okay. Then for the orange pair, you're going to do solid orange on the inside and white orange on the outside. And I suppose I should say that this is for a B scheme terminal, which most of you will likely be working with. So then you're going to want to go ahead and straighten these out extremely well. When you do, it'll kind of lock this piece in there. So just so you can see, that's what the piece will look like once it's installed properly. It kind of locks into the cross member on the cable. Straighten that out nice and neat. Okay, and usually you'll want to use flush cuts for this. Again, I left all my tools at the site. And they just kind of stuck with what I got here at the hotel room. But you're going to want to cut them at a pretty sharp angle. And what that'll allow you to do is run each pair in on its own. So next is this piece. On one side, it has little grooves for the teeth of the actual RJ45 to punch down through. So that grooved side is going to be the bottom. On the other side, it's smooth. Okay. You're also going to want to pay attention to these notches that are on it that don't really want to show up on video. One side is notched and one side is straight. And you can see this little piece is a pass-through. So you're going to want to go orient the notched side how you would the teeth on a regular 45. And you're going to slide it gently over these connectors. And if you did the first step right with that little divider, this should go pretty smoothly, but of course, because I used scissors to cut this guy back, it's going to be a pain in the butt. Okay, we're going to have to do that again. Okay, nice clean cuts. Let's see if I can get it this time. Again, remember, side with the little grooves and it goes down. All right, so now once you get it on, it should glide pretty much smoothly until you get there. You're gonna want to check your wire map here, because if it's not correct, you can't go back and change it after this point. This is it. It's the point of no return. So looks like my wire map's correct. What we're gonna do is we're gonna work these two pieces together until there's really no gap between them. If you see, I can fit my fingernail in there. You wanna get them a little closer. Sometimes you'll have to do a little something like this. Just kind of like act like you're straightening these cables out and wiggle it up and down and back and forth. And that's about good enough. So again, you're gonna want flush cuts for this step, but scissors will work. You're gonna take the scissors, you're gonna cut your conductors as close to this connector as possible. This is a little bit of an exception from the directions where they tell you to give it a little bit of space. The space your scissors will leave is plenty of length. So the next step, you're gonna take your actual RJ45 end, you get that ready, and you're gonna work this piece up. And so again, we got grooved side, teethed side, whatever you want to call it, this down. And you're gonna want to set it like that. So we're starting to look like a 45 here. And you're gonna want to take this piece and slide it over. And then you're gonna need to push it until it's flush. So there we go. We don't really have any breaks in here. There's a tool for this step, the little clacker I was talking about. Again, it's not really necessary. Will make your life easier and save your hands a little bit. And then you just slide this little guy back over, and then you would use your crimp tool, just any RJ45 crimper, to crimp these down. And your connector is done. You've successfully done the Panduit TX6 PLUS modular plug. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments. Can't promise I'll be super prompt, but if I see it, I can help you out. I'll do what I can. You guys have a good one. Appreciate the watch.